On the Saturday, I also covered overview of identity access management domain. What is this domain? Where exactly is to use? Why we use? Right. So that also will not be covered here. We'll be directly starting from the scratch, like how we set up project in SailPoint, right? Everything from the scratch. So first thing is, I am going to create one folder here. SailPoint Flash 2. Okay. In this one, I have to install SailPoint, right? Before that, I should know what is the process, how to install SailPoint, right? So let's learn about SailPoint installation. When we talk about SailPoint, what is SailPoint? It's a mobile app, it's a standalone software, it's a web application. So SailPoint is a web application. Web application means which can be deployed on a server. So definitely we need a server. Right. So if in case anyone asks what is the component, why is SailPoint? So we have a SailPoint, a web application software, which can be deployed on server. SailPoint store all its data in a separate database. So we have to also set up a database where SailPoint can read and write. So this is a component wise. So what we need: a SailPoint software, a server, a database, and Java. The installation steps. Prerequisite software, right? What software we need to use, which operating system we can use, which server we can use, which database we can use, right? So for that, we have to first identify which SailPoint version we are going to use. So right now we have latest version is 8.3. Okay, I'm going to show you complete practical on the 8.2. So we can upgrade to 8.3 because I have to also show you upgrade process. How can we upgrade to the next version, right? If I directly show you everything on the 8.3, I cannot show you the upgrade process. Give me one moment. So if I show you directly 8.3, right, we cannot upgrade, right? So because latest one is 8.3. So I will show you 8.2. So from 8.2, we can upgrade to 8.3. Now we finalize that we have to use 8.2 version, SailPoint 8.2. That is the version name, right? So we need to download that SailPoint software, right? So I've already downloaded that. You can access this software from the Google Drive. I take you 8.2. This is a zip file you will get from your SailPoint site. I've already downloaded, so you can access it. This. Let's paste this 8.2 zip file for now. This is a zip file, basically compressed file. So we need to extract. Right click, open 7-zip, or you can use other extraction tool. Let's say 7-zip, WinZip, WinRAR, etc. Anything you can use to extract. I will extract it in the folder called IDIQ. So here we have extracted every content of this zip file inside this folder called IDIQ. Now inside the IDIQ, over here, you see one folder called documentation. Here you will see one file called installation guide. Open this. In this installation guide, okay, this is for version 8.2, released in June 2021. You come down here, you will see this supported platform. So here you can see every information, what operating system we can use, Linux, Windows Server, CentOS, which application servers we can use. So we have only this version, Apache Tomcat 9 or 8.5 we can use. Which database we can use, exact version name are mentioned here. Which cloud platform we can use. Let's say if you want to deploy SailPoint on the cloud, so we can use AWS, Azure, Google Cloud Platform, GCP in short. Which Java we can use, right? Everything they have mentioned here. I'm going to use MySQL 8.0 database. I'm going to use JDK 1.8. I'm going to use server as a Apache Tomcat 9. Okay, anything you can use, but to make it simple, I'm going to use all the software. Okay, now coming back to the installation guide. The installation procedure. The first procedure is basically, the first step is we have to install Java and we need to configure Java. Second step is we have to install SailPoint database. We need to configure database. Third step is we need to install server. And then we have to proceed with SailPoint installation. So these three are the prerequisite software. Let's install the Java. So Java will be installing 1.8 here. So you will get this software on the Google Drive, which I'll be sharing after enrollment. Share. JDK 1.8. Just double click on this. Click yes. We have to install this. Java installation, simple, straightforward. We don't need to make any change. We have to simply go next, everything default. Next. This is the location it's installing. Next. In the demo, I mentioned that previously Java was from Sun Microsystem. Now it is acquired by Oracle. Java installation is done. You can close this. So step one is done. Now we need to set this environment variable. What are this environment variable? Why do we need to set this? So like for example, we install software, example Chrome, or let's say some music player or some games. You see, there's a shortcut I can create it here in your desktop, right? Because those are the consumer software designed for end user. Java is not a consumer software. Java is not a software for end user, right? Java's software is for community, a developer community, right? The Java software is not visible here, and it's also not configured in your Windows. It is installed, but it's not available, right? If you go to C drive, program files, Java, JDK, development kit, and bin. Only inside this bin folder, Java is available actually. I have to make sure that my Java is available in my complete operating system. So for that reason, what I need to do, I need to set this environment variables, path variable, right? So for the path variable, how can I set this? Just copy this three path, paste here. We need to collect this value first, path, GRE home, and Java underscore home. Because version can be different. So accordingly, you have to capture this value. So where you have to go, C program file Java JDK bin folder. C program file Java JDK bin folder. Copy this complete value and update here. Okay, because version is different. Same way GR underscore home. C program file Java GRE. C program file Java GRE. Copy this path and update here. Java underscore home, C program file Java JDK. C program file Java JDK. This path we need to copy as it is here. After this, what we need to do, once we have all three value here, what we need to do, we have to go to this PC or my computer, right click properties. Here you will see advanced system setting, environment variables, click on this. And here if you see few variables are configured. It's configured previously, let's leave it. This is the actual state. Actually, you will not see this variable. Okay, so we need to create this variable. So what you need to do, new path and the value. In the next line, we have to provide the value. This value. Make sure you copy without space. Same way we have to add other also. GR underscore home. So Java, JDK, everything we are basically configured. So it should be available in our whole operating system. Click OK. Same way, one more, Java underscore home, this value, that's it. We have to configure this three path. Click OK, close it. After this, open command prompt anywhere in your machine, any folder, any directory, anywhere, and run this two command, Java space - version. This will give you the version which you just configured, and Java C also. Java C stands for Java compiler. That means your Java is working absolutely fine. Java step is done. If you go to internet, if you search for Java installation, you will see the same process. So nothing special to SailPoint. Now, next. Next, we need to install database. So we can use 5.7 or 5.8, right? So let's install the database. In the software, you will see database, MySQL installer. Double click on this, launch this. Develop everything we need to use default. Next. These are the total software which will be downloaded as a part of this complete installation. Here, the main software are this. This is actual server, database server. And this is, but this is the main one. Click execute. It will download all this software from internet one by one. Next. Ready to install, click execute. Now we have downloaded. This will be installed one by one. The main component of database is MySQL Server 8.0. So this installation is done. Now click next. Now all this product are ready to configure. Click next. So if you see, we have to use everything default. Here, the important thing is the port number of MySQL. So MySQL port number is 3306. Default port number. If you want, you can change this, but we'll use default one. Next. Next. By default, there's an account created. The name of that account is called root username. We need to set up a password here. Let's say set a password test at rate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whatever you want, right? Copy this. Password send medium, that's fine. Click next. MySQL root password. Okay, so username is root, password is this. Okay, now click next. In your Windows, it will install a service by name MySQL 80. Next, execute. We have to use everything default. It's just that password we need to set. That's it. Finish. Next. Verify that, paste the password and check connection successful. Next, execute. Finish. Next. Finish. This two screen will open. You can close this. And there is one more screen will open. We can close this. Right. Now database is installed properly in our machine. Which database? MySQL 5.8. Now, how can we access database? Right. There are two ways. First one is command line. Second is graphical GUI interface, graphical user interface. Right. So earlier, few years back, there was only command line option. After that, MySQL and some other technology also, vendor also, right? They provide a graphical user interface. So that graphical interface is called Workbench. So when we install MySQL, we have Workbench software also. Here we need to provide password. One more thing I forgot to show you. Let's close this. MySQL Workbench is the official graphical user interface tool for MySQL. So this is the official one which we can use free of cost. Okay. So here we have database installed. So we can we can run this command show databases. This will show you current databases. So we have few sample databases. So whenever we use all this technology, we always get some sample data. So this is a sample databases. Same way we can access through command line, but for command line, we have to do one more special thing. That is, we need to set path variable like we did for Java, right? We have to same way we have to set the path for command line. What will be the value of path? This PC, C drive, program file, MySQL. MySQL server. Server is the main component. Bin. Copy this path. This we need to update in a path variable. Since path variable we already created, right? We can update the same path variable. Advanced setting, environment variables. Path is already here. Double click on this. Copy this value. And we can add multiple entries here. So one is for Java, one is for MySQL. Okay. Okay. Now you can open command prompt anywhere in your machine. And here you can type this command to log in into MySQL. MySQL -u root -p, enter. -u stand for username, root. -p password. Password will not type here because password should be hidden. Now, after this, when you type password, you will see password is hidden. Test at that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Enter. Welcome to the MySQL monitor, and you will see this MySQL arrow. Now we can write the command here, show databases. We have same database. This is just a command line console. Workbench is a graphical interface. That's it. Both are same, both giving the data from the same source. MySQL is also configured. Let's go to the next step. Server installation. We need to use Apache Tomcat 9. So I have already downloaded this Apache Tomcat 9. Okay, copy this. You go here, SailPoint batch 2, we paste it. This is a zip file, so we need to extract. Zip file extract. Then this is Apache Tomcat. Now this zip file we can delete. We don't need. Inside this Apache Tomcat, you have bin folder, right? Here you will see two files.
Like, can we use Tomcat server up more latest version, which is about 10? Because
so you have to use the compatible one, which is compatible with your SailPoint.
Okay.
Which SailPoint version you are installing, right? 8.2.
How can we check the compatibility, like in the
Here
compass?
in this, yeah, this is a one. Installation guide 8.2. So here you will see all the supported platform. Let's say you want to check which application server you can use. All this application server you can use. So you cannot use Apache Tomcat 10.
Okay. Good.
Okay. Yeah. And there is one more matrix also, where they have mentioned all this in the Excel format. But generally we don't check. We simply check the version, which version we are using. Accordingly, we check this guide.
Is it same for 8.3 as well?
Okay, 1 second. There is a guide here. Let me show you that. You see this? I take you support platform.
Okay.
This is a guide they provided like this. So here they highlight. If you see the one which is in the green, that means that is introduced new support. So the 8.1, previously 8.0, this GCP was not there. So this introduces 8.1 GCP. Now this is for the current. I downloaded this few months back, last year, I guess, right? Same way you'll get for 8.2. So there you can check what version you can use.
Okay.
It's not like something it frequently change. It rarely change. But here we can check the actual support platform.
Okay. So we can get this from Compass, right? This Excel.
Yeah, everything is on the compass, definitely. We should know what we need to search. Everything is there.
All right. Yeah.
So now we have to use Apache Tomcat. So in the Apache Tomcat folder, Tomcat bin, here you will see two files, startup.bat and shutdown. Actually, you will see two files, two startup, two shutdown. Startup.bat, bat is for Windows, sh file is for Linux. Okay, so we are using Windows, so we have to use startup.windows batch file, bat file in shutdown. You can directly click on this, but you have to run this command through command prompt. The reason is in case your server fails, you will not see logs. But if you run this command through command prompt, in case your server fail, you will see the complete error logs. Now we need to open command prompt here. I'll tell you one simple shortcut. What people do, they open the command prompt and they manually go to this directory here, right? It's not required. You select this is called address bar. You select this complete, make sure this complete should be in blue, type CMD, enter. Directly your command prompt will open the current directory. Easiest way. Now you have to run this command startup.bat.
Also we have one more option, right? To go to services, and over there we can start or stop the
Yeah.
service.
So all the software come in
Mhm.
2-3 version, right? First one is you can use as a standalone. Second one is you can configure this server in your Windows service. So whenever you start your laptop, automatically server will start. When you shut down, your automatically server will stop. That is also possible. Since we have to do this, we have to start and stop the server multiple times in this training, right? So we have to use this option. In actual production environment, we use the other one, Windows service.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So now server started. How can we verify that? If you see this is on the HTTP server 8080 port number. So go to browser, type here localhost. Localhost by localhost, because currently this server is on my local machine, right? In case this server is configured on some other machine and I'm connected to that machine through internet, so I have to type the IP of that machine. Currently I'm on same machine, so I have to use localhost, or I can type my own machine IP after 8080. Why? Because that is a port number configured for HTTP request on Tomcat. When you hit this, you will see this screen. If you are seeing this, you have successfully installed Tomcat. Let's stop the server. Now we run the command shutdown.bat. Server is stopped. Okay. Server is stopped. So now hit this URL again. Now it will say not found, because now server is down. So that means our server is working fine. Let's come back to the installation step and let me close all these tabs to avoid confusion. Okay. So installation procedure, Java is done, database is done, server is done. All three prerequisites software are done. Now the next step is perform SailPoint installation. As compared to any other IAM tool, SailPoint installation is very, very easy. Let's go to this. First step is WAR file deployment. Now, when we download the SailPoint, this is what we get, right? ITIQ folder. Here you see one WAR file. WAR file basically stands for Web Archive, means a web application project, right? You have to extract this, right click extract. When extracting this file, make sure you providing a folder name. The folder name should be ITIQ and it should be in small without any space or without any capital letter. Click OK. Okay, close this. Now this extract, zip file, war file is extracted here inside this folder. So this is our web application, the actual software. Copy this. Go back to your server, Apache Tomcat. Any application which we need to deploy on Tomcat, we need to put inside the web apps folder, web applications, web apps. Here, these are the sample application. You can paste your own application here. You will, when you read SailPoint at architect level documents, you will see that SailPoint says that in server where you deploy IntelliIQ, there should not be any other application. When you read the installation guide, they have not mentioned this, that, okay, you should delete this other application. But when you read the architect documents of SailPoint, you will see that they have mentioned that you should remove all other application system, which is true. For the security purpose, the Tomcat server we are setting up for IntelliIQ. So only IntelliIQ application should be there. Rest all we need to delete. Simple. Right. So inside the web apps, we have only one application called IntelliIQ. Everything in small, no space. Okay. This is done. War file deployment. So war file basically in extended format folder we have deployed inside the web apps. Second step is database creation. Earlier we install the database server, right? In that server, we need to set up a dedicated SailPoint database. Go inside this IntelliIQ. Go to webinf. Webinf stands for web information. Here you will see one folder called database. Here you will see create script. So this current release 8.2 support 4 database. So for 4 database, SailPoint already created a script. What we need to do, we need to simply execute. Which one we are using? We are using MySQL. So we'll refer this file. Open this. In this file, you will see a lot of SQL queries to create tables, add data, etc. Right? We need to execute this. Right? We need to execute in one go. So what we can do? There's a one shortcut. Open the command MySQL here actually. So for that, we have to open command prompt first. CMD command prompt. Log into MySQL. -u root -p password test red 1 2 3 4 5. We are logging here. Now there's a command here through which we can load this complete file and we can execute in one go. The command is source file name properties. This is the file name. Paste here. Extension of this file, that is .mysql. Copy this. Semicolon. So what this command will do, this command will read this file. It will read content from this file. Enter. It will execute all the query in one go. Majorly, you will not be installing SailPoint in your actual project, right? Because that is already done by the architect and other people. But you should know the complete process. Because you will face question in the interview, because you will face question in your IQ certification exam. So you should know what is the process. Okay, this is done. Now, if you run this command show databases, you will see a new databases created here. IntelliIQ and IntelliIQ plugin. IntelliIQ is your main database. IntelliIQ plugin is just a blank database. Okay, this is our main database. Minimize this. Go to the installation step. Step 2 is done. The step 3 is IQ.properties file update. What is this IQ.properties? Understand this. It is possible that in my machine, I have MySQL also, I have Oracle also, I have SQL developer also. Or let's say my machine is connected to an internet with other machines. On those other machines, I have other database installed, right? Or let's say I have installed two MySQL 5.7, MySQL 5.8. I have multiple database connected with my machine basically, right? How this current SailPoint will understand on which database I have to connect, which database I have to use. Definitely, the particular database that we have to refer here, we have to provide the connection information to our SailPoint. So that we have to define inside this file called IQ.properties. It's a global file. Go to webinf classes. Here you will see this file called iq.properties file. Open this. This is the file in which we have to provide the database information. How SailPoint will connect to the system, right? Here, what we need to do, we have to go down. Here, data source username, data source, the database. Username is root. What is the password? Test at the rate 12345. Database username password we need to provide here. Now, which database you are using? So SailPoint actually want to save developer and customer effort. So they already added this entry. If you're using MySQL without SSL, use this. If you're using MySQL with SSL, use this. If you're using P6Py, use this. If you're using Oracle, use this. If you're using MySQL Server, use this. If you're using IBM, use this. So they already added all this entry, right? What we need to do, let's say we are using IBM DB2. What we need to do, if you are using IBM DB2, so we need to uncomment this. What is comment and uncomment? In every file, we have a file properties, Java class, .NET, right? There's a way to comment code. What is the meaning of comment code or line? Those lines which will be disabled, which will not be executed, right? So all these lines which start from hash are disabled, will not execute. So we have to uncomment. Let's say we are using IBM DB2. So uncomment this. Save this. Now, whenever you see this angular bracket, if you see URL format, this is a URL format. In this URL format, whenever you see angular bracket, that means that value we have to provide. Wherever you see angular bracket, host name we need to provide, port name, port number we need to provide, database name. So let's say this is a data source.url, jdbc :db2 :/ and host name. Host name, let's say there's a server called 192.168.1.19. This is a server on which database is installed. After that, port number. So port number is 5533. Example. What is the database name? Database name is IDIQ. Whatever we need to provide here as it is, and we need to save this file, right? Accordingly, whatever we are using. So which one we are using? We are using MySQL. MySQL is already enabled here on the top if you see by default, because MySQL is most widely used database with SailPoint. We have to design this URL with this format, URL format. You see, what is the URL format? JDBC :MySQL :/ host name. So JDBC :MySQL :/ host name. Our database is in our local machine, so we can leave localhost as it is. After that, port number. So add port number. What is the port number of database? 3306. /DB name. What is the database name we just created? IDIQ, right? So we'll use this IDIQ here. That's it. Save this. So we have provided the connection, username, password, and the connection URL. That's it. So now SailPoint know that SailPoint has to connect to this database with this username and the password. That's it. After this, start the server. Simple. So basically 3 steps we need to follow: war file deployment, database creation, update file, and then start the server. Apache Tomcat, bin folder, command prompt, startup.bat. Now we are installing the SailPoint first time. We are starting the server's first time. You will see one entry here called initializing object init.xml. Init.xml is a default file which is available, which will be imported in your SailPoint to set up all the initial object. So you might face this question in your interview and your certification exam. So the file name is called init.xml. This only import first time when we start the server first time. You see, importing init.xml to initialize the system. Initialization complete, server startup. Same port number. So let's go to server. Localhost. After localhost 800, what we need to type? The exact name of the folder that is present inside the web apps, INTIQ. So our organization create this INTIQ QA, INTIQ tab. Whatever folder name is here, same you have to type here. You can see we are able to see the login page, current version 8.2. Now by default, SailPoint provide one username and the password. Username is SPAdmin, SailPoint admin, and password is admin in small. This is the default user administrator. Like we saw in the database, we have default user, right? A root. Same way you can say it's a root user, administrator. Now we are able to log in here. There are different tabs here. There is one tab called identities, means all employee contractor of organization we have to manage here, identity warehouse, where we can see all employees, contractor, supplier, vendor of our organization. As of now, this is a default version in which we have only one user, SPAdmin, current user from which I logged in. If you want to view, you can open this. Now, at this moment, our installation is done. Only change in your project, what you will do, instead of this local host, we have to use the actual server name where we have database installed. That's it. No other change. Okay. Now we are able to see this login. We are able to log in successfully. Any doubt, question here? Anyone on installation process?
Yeah, Rahul, I have a question. So in the locals, I mean, in local where we are configuring that application here, but in actual dev environment or testing environment or production environment, how this application will be deployed? So like, do we require different instances or the same instance like we can deploy on a database, application server and Tomcat? I mean, application server and application.
Okay, let's assume this is one my machine is a server A, server 1. Okay, you all have internet access to this machine. Okay, consider this is a dev environment. Same way I have to set up another machine. On another machine I have to do another installation that can be called test environment. Same way I have to set up a third machine that will be called production. For all environment we have to set up different instance.
Okay.
Okay,
Which mean to say that whatever like that what we did in the test environments, we are doing the same.
definitely. Yep. Yeah, you have to same way you have to install a test environment. So there are multiple environment we create, right, in the organization. This is the standard one. Basically what SDLC says that sandbox, dev, test. Some people call it QA. Some people also call it UAT. Some people also call it one more, SIT, sit, and then prod, live. This is what SDLC says, right? But generally we use this three, dev, test. So consider this is just a dev installation I did. Same way, I have to buy a new machine, a new server. I have to purchase that. On that, I will be setting the second environment. Same way, there will be another machine on which I'll set up prod environment.
Okay. So for installation for each and every resources, we have to do that same, right?
Yes, the process is same. No change. No change.
No change.
Yeah.
Okay. But somewhere I heard that like there were database is a 2 instance and UI is a 2 instance. So is that wrong or just I need to understand that part as well.
No, when we talk about the dev environment, so dev will have a one server and one database. When we talk about the test environment, test will have a separate server and the database. Prod will have separate server and the database.
Okay.
Rahul, the question is more, no, not like a single instance. It's about high availability, like database is clustered with multiple racks, or WebLogic servers, clustered WebLogic servers. The nodes will be different. So how the process will differ on, let's say, dev installation, the installation setup you have, explained just now, will differ from prod. In prod, how the setup will be on high available
Okay.
environment.
For
Maybe
high
you can,
availability, basically,
yeah.
we don't use legacy approach, what we use in other web application structure. We use a different concept here, which is provided by the SailPoint, called UI server and task server. Okay. SailPoint says that, one second. SailPoint says that we don't need that load balancing here actually, right? We actually need servers, because what happens is load balancing is actually required in the web application. SailPoint is also a web application, right? But example, we have Amazon website, right? So millions of users access Amazon through internet, right? But SailPoint is not like that. Very few people in your organization will be accessing SailPoint. Okay. So SailPoint says that not many users accessing SailPoint web application through internet. So we don't need to focus on the load balancer on the server. We need a different level of mechanism to improve the performance and high availability, right? So SailPoint says that we need two different machines. Means you will be setting up the SailPoint in two different machines, machine A and machine B. So actually, let's say I have to set up prod. So I'll set up machine A. I'll set up machine B, and I'll also set up machine C. In machine A, I've installed IAQ Tomcat server. Okay. In B also, I'll do same thing. In C, I will do different. In the C, I'll install the database. Okay, database machine will be always one. Okay. Now, this first one I will dedicate to the UI server. Means requests which are coming from the user interface from the browser, and all the other backend will be called as a task server. Only thing what we need to do on this machine, I install SailPoint like just I did. But database will be on the separate machine. Okay. In this machine, I'll install SailPoint. I'll call it a UI. In the second machine, I'll call it task server. How this both will interact? Both should have an internet connectivity. After this, how SailPoint will understand it, which one is UI, which one is task. When we install, we have to go to one console here. Manually called debug console. It's a basically configuration page. Here you have to click on this one, configurations. And here you will see, sorry, not configuration, server. Service definition. Yeah. Here you will see two things. Request. Request means basically a UI server. Requests which are coming from browser, UI, user interface. Click on this. You see host, by default values global. Every machine has a name, right? Example, my machine name, if I want to check, type here host name. This is my machine name. Okay. So every machine has a name. So whatever the machine name of this type here, host equal to machine name A. Same way for task server, host equal to machine name B. That's it. Now SailPoint will automatically balance this two machine. Actually, SailPoint want to use processor of two different machine, CPU of two different machine. I have certain CPUs in this machine, right? If I go to my task manager, if I click on this, I have certain CPUs here, right? Processor and the CPUs. SailPoint want to use this. So for that, they want to use two different machines. Two different machines will increase more CPU. For this, SailPoint also provide one guide that is called deployment architecture guide. Okay, let me show you that. So this. Yep, this is the one. If you see. So this is the SailPoint. So SailPoint says that you can increase more machines, right? You can have two machine for UI, two servers basically, which will handle requests which are coming from the UI. Two machine which will handle the backend task, and there will be always one database. Database will be always one. Let's say you have less users, so you can reduce this machine, one UI server, one task server. So different structure they have mentioned here based on the number of users you have to manage. Micro, very small organization where number of users up to 5,000. Small, up to 10,000 users. Medium, 10,000 to 15,000. Large, 50,000 to 5 lakh. More than 5 lakh, call. Call means call SailPoint. They will help you to set up. For every structure they have mentioned, for micro, when you have less than 5,000 users, you can mention everything in the same machine like I just did. Database and server both are on the same machine. Combined IDIQ and database server. Small footprint means 5,000 plus user. So one machine you can use for Tomcat, second machine you can use for database plus server. This one is medium. When you have 10,000 to 15,000, I get 50,000. Let me check the medium. Yeah, 10,000 to 50,000. When you have 10,000 to 50,000, you should use one UI server because there are very less requests will come to UI. Okay. Majorly SailPoint perform backend tasks. So use two machines, two hardware for task server. Database server will be always one. Large, when you have user 50,000 to 5 lakh. Large. Two UI server, two task server. Right. What should be the size of your UI server? This machine, they also mentioned that you have to purchase two machine, two IDQ batch machine. Each should have 4 processors, 16 GB of RAM, like this. Okay, so this is how we use high availability. Because
Rahul,
now
I
we
have
are
a
using.
question. Can I ask?
Yeah.
I want to know that you are talking about these instances. So, are you going to like rent these instances from Amazon, AWS?
No. These are the machines. You can use any machine. You can buy from online from the cloud, or you can use your hardware. You can purchase 4 different desktop. You can connect through internet. It's the same
Okay.
thing.
Okay,
These
got
are
it.
the
Okay.
servers. It has no relationship with cloud. It can be anything. It can be a laptop, desktop, corporate servers, cloud server, anything.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Because cloud is, it's there in market from last 5 years, right? SailPoint is there in market from 15 years, right? And
Yeah.
and the cloud is nothing but a way to, use resources with the, better optimization. Actually, it's a server only, right? Which we don't need to set up, right? So here, basically, when we say this one server or one machine, actual laptop or desktop or Windows machine or actual hardware, basically.
Okay. Got it.
Rahul,
Okay.
as we know that, like, as we install that SailPoint in a single instance, but like how we will install, install like task servers.
Yeah, this is what I mentioned. You have to install the same way. Let's say I have 4 machines connected with internet. Okay. Same way I have to install the SailPoint on the Tomcat. After installing this, what I need to do, I have to go to this machine, this debug page. I have to open this file, and here I have to mention the name. There must be name here, right? Of all this machine. Machine name 1, 2, right? So that name I have to mention here. By default, it's global. So we have to mention host name. Let's say we have two UI server, right? So let's say machine name 1, comma machine name 2, like this.
Okay. By
That's it.
specifying,
Nothing
by
else.
specifying like name, we can convey that like which is that UI server and which is that task server. I mean,
Yes. So for we have two files here. One is UI request.
okay.
For UI, you have to mention here. Second file is here, task. Task name you have to mention here.
Okay.
If you, any of you, if you have your project in SailPoint, if you go to this file, you will see some server name here, mention here using comma. Machine name 1, comma machine name 2.
So
I have a doubt here actually.
Go one by one.
Okay, so we have developed a code in SailPoint.
Your voice is very low.
Okay, is it better now? Is
Yeah,
it better
better.
now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So
Yes.
let's say we have developed a code in such a way to generate a report and to store it in service, in star service, and we have 4 task servers. Not 4, we have 2 task servers. So if it generate, I mean, if you run the task and if it generates a report, will it get stored in 2 task servers or in 1 task server?
See, what happened is, basically the purpose of this is to add performance, right?
Okay.
So SailPoint will automatically take decision when you run a task, okay, which server is available to handle that, serve that,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
SailPoint will directly process that. So let's say if your report is generating on this task, so your data is also stored in this server actually.
Okay, so won't it get stored in another server?
Yes.
Okay, but I work in a project where we have 4 task servers, but whenever we generate any reports, I mean, using any task, so that will get stored in all the servers. I mean, in all task servers.
See, actually report and everything stored in your database. Okay, so it's available everywhere.
It's not like a report actually. It's like a CSV file. It's a CSV file generation.
So maybe they must add a logic to write the CSV in all the full server.
Okay.
Right. If you talk about the by default report, if you
Okay.
execute here, it is available here. But actually, the server is nothing but a processing logic. Actual data stored in your database.
Okay.
Right. But if they are creating external CSV, right? So they are writing a logic to save in some folder also. In the server, they must be saving in some folder also,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So same time, they must be using a logic to save in all servers.
Okay.
Any question, anyone here?
So Rahul, what is the alternate option to this debug UI page if I want to edit this same XML definition?
You can edit through console. There is one more console which is hidden, but that is very complicated. And in most of the case, you will not get access.
And
First, you have to extract this file. You have to make modification. You have to import it file.
And what
Debug
about
is a widely used console.
And what about that XML, where it is stored? It is in server web files?
No, in the database.
In the database.
All this data, whatever you see here, it is coming from the database. There's a parser here which convert this data. The moment I click, it convert the data from the table into XML format.
Okay.
Like for example, we have this user, right? Admin user, SP admin.
Yeah.
We can use this here.
So that IIQ console, that option, we can do the edit of the XML, right?
Yeah, we can do that. But
yeah, okay.
Actually what happened is initially when SailPoint launched, right? That time, in that era, all the other tools, right? They always provide a console, command line console, right? 10, 15 years back, everything was basically command line. So because of that, they provided.
Okay.
But now that console has a lot of limitations. First thing is you cannot do everything what you can do from the UI. First thing. In some tool, it happened that, okay, you can do more in console as compared to UI, right? In SailPoint is opposite. Second thing is because you can only access the console once you have access to the server folder. Okay, web apps, INDIQ, web init, bin folder. Nowadays, every customer stop giving you this folder access.
Yeah.
They don't give you their access. you cannot access this folder at all. So if you cannot access this, you cannot open your console, because console you have to open from here, IIQ console. Right. So actually, this has no meaning nowadays in
Okay.
any project.
So these XML files are not stored in WebINF conf folder.
Nothing. No,
Okay.
no,
Okay. No, right. Okay.
not at all. Yeah. Whatever you see here, everything. You can
Okay.
go to SailPoint table and you can check this data. It's everything in the tables.
Okay. So what is maintained there in CONF folder, config folder in WebINF?
In the config folder, there are some predefined XMLs. Here, these are some predefined XMLs. So
Okay.
all this data can be viewed here in the XML. So same time, this XML data can be stored back in the database also, right? So SailPoint has configured some predefined XMLs here. Let's example, you need help with some email templates. So they have created here some sample email templates.
Okay.
If you import this, you will see XMLs also, and your database table entry will be also updated. So this
Okay.
is not what we store or we control. These are just samples data which we already have here. That's it. When you create objects, you create identity, you create application, you create tasks, you can report. We never save those XMLs here. Never ever.
Got it.
That should be stored in the database in form of XML content, and that should be only accessible from here. Ideally, after setting up this, we should not touch this folder at all. Actually, we have to save or we have to extract nothing. We have to only access SailPoint UI and the debug page, debug console. That's it.
Okay.
Any other question? Anyone? Any doubt?
So if what are the infrastructures requirements, whatever like JDK, Java, or Tomcat, SailPoint, database, this one only we can answer, right?
Yeah. So we have this guide, right? I mentioned this. You have to follow
Yeah.
this guide.
Yeah. Apart from that, do we need to specify anything?
Nothing.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
If you want to set up this, you can set up on the cloud also. You set up this, you can follow this process. SailPoint installation is very simple, straightforward. Same you have to follow in the Linux also. Let's say you want to install in the Linux also, right? Nothing will change. Exact same process.
Rahul, I have a question regarding, you mentioned one importing init.xml. What is that? Can you repeat that part?
So what happens is when we install the SailPoint, right? That time when you log in from a user called SP-admin, right? I just show you this XML, right? Task server and UI server, right? All this XML actually stored in one file that is called init XML. So init XML will set up all these files in one go. So that's why it says initializing the system objects. So SP-admin is also system object. All these predefined tasks, XMLs, reports, etc. all are system objects. So using that file, we have to import it.
Okay.
So Rahul,
Thanks, Rahul.
I have one question. So this UI and task server setup is done by some architect in the team, right?
Generally, all this thing will be done by the architect. Why? I'll tell you. Right? You can again go back to check in the project, but why it is done by the architect only, right? Or maybe senior person, right? Why? Generally, all this activity is done on the day one when customer purchase all this stuff, right? That day. And that time, actually, only architect is working with the customer to set up design process, security principles, security guidelines, etc. Right? And when we set up this for customer, we have to also take care of other security issues. Example, SailPoint is never allowed to be accessible publicly. Okay, SailPoint should be only accessible within the internet of the organization, right? So let's say I am setting up server for one customer and I don't know this I just simply set up one server and make it publicly because I was not aware. Okay, I have to make it non-public, or maybe I was not aware how to do it. Okay, I just set up server and by default it become public, right? So all this setting generally done by architect and the special teams. That's why you will not see all this setting. You will not get chance. But when you work on the project, that time you should know UI server, the task server. Because what happens, sometime your request, your whatever request task you're running, that goes to one particular server only, right? Let's say something is failing, you have to check logs. So I have to particularly log into that one server instead of logging into other server. Okay.
Where can we see all the logs, Rahul, the SailPoint logs exactly in the UI or dashboard, or we have any base URL?
No, not base URL. We have to log in into the servers. These are the machines, right? Servers. We have to explicitly log in using RDP or PuTTY or WinSCP. You have to go to that particular location that will be covered in the coming session. What location is there? Then only you will be able to see logs. This is a very common problem I also face in my projects. We have two task server. I executed one request. Request is failing. So I need to check, okay, on which task server request is handled. Accordingly, I have to log into that machine and have to check my logs.
So basically, we have to check all the logs, like if we get some error, we are not sure in which task or UI.
No, you will get this information when the request submitted in the backend, right? In the backend, you can see the name of the task on which task server the request is executed.
Got it.
You can directly go to that. It's not like you have 4 task servers, so you will randomly go to 4 task server and you will search. No, you can check the request information or the task information on which server this is executed. Directly, you can go to that and you can check logs.
Actually, in our organization, this task and UI servers are set up in a pod format, like OCP in the OCP containers. Yeah. So I'm not really sure, like how we can set up that. Are you going to cover that as well?
No, that is not going to cover. You need multiple machine in that case. Right? You need multiple machine in that case. That can be actually set up very easily, but you need multiple hardware basically in that case. It's nothing special. See, same way I have to install it. It's nothing special if you are thinking, okay. Same way, just I install it, right? Except the database, I have to set up this Tomcat, or I can simply copy this Tomcat folder into another server. That machine, another machine should be connected with this machine through internet. Okay, connectivity should be enabled. That's it. After this, I have to start both server and I have to go to that file and I have to just put machine name 1 or 2. That's it. Nothing else. If we read the SailPoint document, they have mentioned this simple step, nothing else. No need to do any single step, nothing. Both should be in the same network zone. That is the only prerequisite. If they are not in the same network zone, you cannot achieve this functionality.
Also, before migration in our company, there was a server setup wherein we have one base URL and 4 task server and 2 UI. So what is the common connecting point? We used to just edit the browser wherein we used to give the server,
nothing on the browser. We never do anything from the browser. Anything which you mentioned this, you have 4 server, but you use one single name to access the SailPoint, right?
Right.
That is controlled by your application server, because actually applications, when you hit the URL, your request directly don't go to the SailPoint. Your request first goes to the application server, and from the application server it gets distributed. Okay, so your request first goes to application server. So that setting we do in the application server. We give a name, let's say acme.myidentity.com, right? So everyone in the organization using this URL. But in the backend, there are 4 servers configured. So that comes under in your application server. And you, as a SailPoint architect, also don't configure that part. That is configured by the server team who set up the server.
Okay.
And in every SailPoint project, you will see different teams for server, for the database, and for SailPoint. Why? Any customer who has money to wants to buy a license, they always set up a separate team. SailPoint license is very expensive. So any customer who wants to buy a SailPoint license, they always set up separate team, because then only they can secure that organization. Because as a senior SailPoint architect, if I have to set up database and server, I can do silly mistakes. That is not my area.
Okay, got it.
Rahul, just I have one more question. So how will ensure that what are the tasks, or like for example, I have 2 or 3 task servers. So how we know that what the tasks are running on server 1 or server 2? So are they giving in reality something like they will give any documentation?
There is one setting here. Yeah, 1 second. Let me show you that. Once we set up this site, there is a URL which you have to access. Basically, one page. Yes, setting, admin console. You see this task. As of now, we don't have task here. Right here, you will see host name. These are the task schedule which is going to be executed. Here you will see the host name on which host is executed.
Okay,
Okay.
got it.
Same time when you're learning this SailPoint, right? You have to also explore your current project. If you don't have your current project, then you have to build some use cases on your local machine, and you have to think logically, okay, what could be the situation in organization? Accordingly, I have to handle it here. All right. We'll be connecting tomorrow, same time, 9 to 10. That is the permanent timing for this batch. So those who have not completed enrollment, you can complete enrollment, because tomorrow only those people can join who have completed their enrollment. In case you have any question, confusion, drop a message on WhatsApp. Thank you so much for everyone for joining today. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Rahul, will you share the installation file on the drive?
Sorry, what is that?
Will you share the installation files? I mean the IQ files and Tomcat and these files.
Yeah,
will
after
you
enrollment only.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Rahul. Thanks. Good night. Thanks, everyone.